Hi Aries, welcome to Burning Waters of the Moon Tarot. I'm going to do a shadow reading for you today. Let me start off by smudging with a little bit of Palo Santo. Today I'm going to use the original tarot deck, special edition by Brigh, and also the Baroque tarot by Mucci. Both of these decks are available for purchase on their websites. I know a lot of my decks are Kickstarter decks and usually are no longer available for purchase. So these two happen to be, actually, I don't think this deck here is available for purchase anymore, because this actually was on sale because of a misprint of the two of the pentacles sign. The pentacles are spelt with a K instead of a CK. There it is, pentacles. And of course that's why I bought this deck, was because of that misprint. But I did get a nice 50% discount on it. I actually already had a deck like this, and the cardstock is different and the coloring is different, but yeah, it's the typical Rider-Waite. Anyhow, I like oddities like that, so I could not pass up that deal. So let's get started, Aries. Okay, let's see, what do we have to see about the shadow? If this reading doesn't quite fit the bill for you, I encourage you to check out some of the other readings, because there could be a planet transiting in your sign or perhaps your birth chart. Pluto's a good planet to be working with when working with the shadow. Also, the moon is a good one as well. So let's see what we have for you today, Aries. Oh, here's my little sugar skull getting ready for Dia de los Muertos. Two of Swords upright, Knight of Cups in reverse, and Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay. All right, I am seeing of course, some indecision here. And it looks like an indecision that has to do with of course, relationship with these two water cards in reverse. And we're going to have to get some more information on these cards here. Let's see if I can move this up. I don't want this to be so crowded, but I just always like to put stuff up here. I like stuff. I'm definitely not a minimalist. Definitely not a minimalist. I purchased a deck from eBay, and this woman was moving, and she was not able to take all of her tarot decks with her, and so she was selling the one that I bid on, and I eventually won. And I actually did not want to pay that much money for it, but I couldn't stop pressing the bid again button, and I just wanted to see what it was at. And I was like, okay, last time I'm going to press this button. And I pressed it, and it just so happened that that was the winning bid. I think it was $65. Anyhow, it would have been $96 to buy that deck, new and shipping. And so the lady was moving, and she had to get rid of one of her tarot decks, and I was like, oh, how many decks do you have? And she said 2. And I was like, I said, oh my goodness. I was like, kudos to you, because I have about 50 decks, and I don't think I could just pick one to move with. And yes, back to my statement, I am not a minimalist. Okay, here we go. Let me do one more shuffle. One more shuffle, because I love the way this deck shuffles. Okay, let's see. 9 of Cups. the High Priestess in reverse, and the Nine of Wands in reverse. 2 nines here. So in typical numerology, the nines are like endings, because that's the end of the single digits, right? And then we go into 10, which is 1 and 0, and we're basically starting over again. So this decision that you are having to make is something that obviously the answer is not very clear for you. You're having a hard time because you're sort of content where you are on one hand, but on the other hand, there is just something that it's not working for you. You're not happy about it. You're guarded about it, and you're not able to openly express yourself. And that's what we're seeing here with the Knights and the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups here, is this lack of emotional expression. It's held up here. This card, the Knight, is a card of action. The Queen of Cups is a card of nurturing and giving, and sort of facilitating, moving things along, getting them to go forward, and it's caught up. So, and I think that, well, let's get some more information before I start saying some stuff. So we got the Sun, we got the Empress, another major arcana, and then the Page of Cups. So our court of Cups here is almost fully represented. And if you notice, the Page of Cups is here in upright position. So he is actually saying that there might be a little bit of immaturity going on. And I do see that with the Empress, there is a haltedness, an inability to express, because that's what the Empress represents. She is like Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is very expressive. She expresses in color, she expresses in plants. She doesn't really care about what anybody thinks. But yet here we have the Sun, and the Sun is usually, almost always, 90% a good card. And here, yes, it's a good card. And I believe the Sun is here as an illumination of this inability to express yourself. And I feel like that's where your contentment is from, is at. You're content in not expressing yourself. And Aries, I can understand that. I can understand not wanting to go to that vulnerable spot where you have to sort of spill the guts. You have to say, well, that hurt my feelings, or that didn't sit well with me, or that made me sad, or that made me unhappy. Because if you go there, then you're not this strong, fire sign that knows what they want, knows how to get it. But you're not expressing that, Aries. And there is a strength in vulnerability. There is a strength of being able to say your truth, and not be ashamed, and not be afraid to say it. And even though it might seem like that's a feminine thing to do, I think it's very masculine to be able to express something that's so vulnerable. So it just exposes a part of yourself. But if you can be masculine in your strength, why can't you be masculine in a vulnerable spot? Because you can recover from it. You don't have to be this thing cowering in the corner. You can say, hey, that hurt my feelings, and I feel this way and this way about it, but let's get through it. Let's work at it. And that's a very strong position to take. It really is. Okay, let's look at this Queen of Cups. So we got 10 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups in reverse, 8 of Wands in reverse, and 5 of Pentacles in reverse. So I see that there you want this happiness, and of course everybody wants Everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants that house on the hill and all of that, and everybody wants to be able to start a family and create a legacy. But you're being held up by these emotions that you're not wanting to express. And the holdup here is keeping you in this feeling of lack. And until you can fully express yourself and fully be vulnerable in those spots, you're not going to be truly happy. And I think it's worth visiting or taking a look back at a place or a time when you weren't allowed to be vulnerable. You weren't allowed to express yourself. You weren't allowed to cry. You maybe weren't allowed to complain. And go back to that time and tell that self that it's okay. It's okay that you didn't talk then. It's okay that you didn't express yourself then because perhaps you had to do it to, I don't know, not be made fun of, not to get spanked, perhaps you were, like me and were raised by a single mother and you had to take care of your siblings, in which case, since you were older, I didn't want to say that you didn't really matter, but you had other things to worry about besides, how you were feeling. And that's just my personal experience, and my issues with vulnerability stem from that. And I can say it to this day, it does take me, it takes a while for me to gather up my skirts and to express myself and express and show my vulnerability, because I'm so used to having to be that hard person, that hard exterior that always has the answers and always knows what to do. And for the most part, I am very resourceful. I know what to do and I can always find a way. And I believe that's, a lot of people can do that. But it's important for our well-being to be able to express discomfort, dissatisfaction, and in order for us to grow from that, we have to let it out. The more that we keep bottled in, the more it starts to ferment, and it's no longer that sweet juice anymore. It turns into vinegar. So go back to those days, Aries, and see where it was that you were not allowed to express yourself, and give that little self a hug and tell that little self that it's okay. And then going forward, start little by little expressing yourself, and say that, okay, that doesn't make me happy. And maybe say that to yourself, and then go a step further, and then maybe tell the person, okay, that didn't make me happy. And then go a step further. It didn't make me happy that you did such and such. And then go a step further. It didn't make me happy that you did such and such. How about if you do this instead? And then you can start creating a dialogue with that person. And then and then you might find that the person will be like, "Oh, I had no idea. No problem." It's not always going to be that easy. Of course, I oversimplified, but start with the baby steps. Start acknowledging first that you're not happy with it. Just say it to yourself, and then you can bring it out into the world. And I think, Aries, that will make you a happier person, and you can go forward with this decision, and you can really feel like you're making the right decision. Okay, Aries, that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the new moon tonight. Bye.